Wow. So Donald Trump is having an absolute meltdown today as he's basically taking the USA in reverse. We're building reverse trust. We're going back on our word. And now I'm hearing we're blackmailing. That's what's subject of today's video. And yes, you heard that correctly. It's just nuts. This is the headlines. Trump demands reverse migration and push for sweeping crackdown. Okay. And I'll just say this, guys, you know it's bad when even C-SPAN is making fun of you. This is C-SPAN's quote of Trump today from Trump. They let him in. Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person? You're just asking questions because you're a stupid person. And that's Trump talking to a reporter. He's holding some photo, waving it around. That's Trump. This was even Newsmax, which is even more right-wing than Fox News, and they're starting to question him. Look at this. From Libby Deans, a reporter over at Newsmax, says, President Trump doesn't directly answer my question on whether the shooting suspect, an Afghan national, was granted asylum during his administration, right? And this is a touchy subject for them. So even Newsmax is asking about this stuff. It's basically just factual stuff. And then I guess Trump's answer was, when it comes to asylum, when they're flown in, it's hard to get them out, according to him. That's according to Trump. No matter how you want to do it, but we're going to be getting them all out. And then that's where the word of the day is reverse migration. If you want to hear Trump talk, you can. I'm just telling you guys what he said because, frankly, I get irritated with him myself, and I'm getting kind of over it. It's like, just Trump's unhinged and he's an idiot, okay? Now I'll tell you basically what he said. So today, he's calling people stupid, right? But essentially, things are melting down. And unfortunately, it does cost people lives. And I'm just telling you the truth in this stuff. He's getting our people killed. And I just want to say this in all seriousness. I'm sorry about this whole situation. I don't want to see any of this kind of stuff in USA. You see right here, National Guard soldier dies day after DC shooting. She was 20 years old. It says it's from Fox. National Guard member Sarah Beckstrom dead after DC shooting, highly respected. So I'm sorry to hear about this. I believe the other person is still in the hospital. I think it's in critical. So I'll keep you updated on it. I'm sorry to hear that. And it's frustrating because you're dealing with Trump is just insane. I just don't know how to put it. And now basically he's wants to close all immigration. It looks like he says Trump unveils reverse migration plan to halt third world immigration. You can see it right there. Another headline: Trump says U.S. to permanently pause migration. He's been waving around the photo, and I also want to give you a bit of what sensible people talk like. We can dwell on all the stupid stuff Trump says from day to day, and just be frank with you guys, he's costing people lives, and it's awful. He wants us to all fight each other, basically. This is from Zoran Mandami. Zoran says, I'm devastated to learn of the passing of Specialist Sarah Beckstrom, a member of the West Virginia National Guard. She was only 20 years old. As families across the nation come together today to celebrate Thanksgiving, let us take a moment to think of those in West Virginia who have been plunged into unimaginable grief. And I mean, that's the whole situation's terrible, but you want people to do their best they can to bring peace, right? To bring us together. And when you look at what Trump's saying, and I'll show you a little bit, he tweets out crazy stuff nonstop, but this is part of with Trump's Thanksgiving message. It says, Trump ended his social media post with a stern warning. Other than that, happy Thanksgiving to all, except those that hate, steal, murder, and destroy everything that America stands for. You won't be here for long. That's Trump's Thanksgiving message. And if you want to read through this whole rigmarole, you can. I'll just say this: it's filled with lies, false information, misleading stuff, etc. And that's what Trump does. And I could spend all video fact checking everything, but it's the same, stuff that these kind of people always say. And then he's gonna talk about how, get all the Afghanis out, whatever. I want to say this, and I just want to make it really clear: not every American is a total a-hole. I have to mention that because sometimes people get upset, when I talk about this stuff, because it's upsetting. We're all upset right now, right? Not every American is like Trump, though. Yes, there's a portion of the population that loves Trump, and I'll just be frank with you guys, they're racist, angry all the time, nonstop. But it's completely unsustainable, these kind of people. It's just unsustainable. You can't live out your days every single day being angry at the world and surrounding yourself with a bunch of greedy individuals. self-serving, right? Incompetent. That's what Trump's administration is. And I know for a lot of us, it's just extremely stressful every day, and it costs people's lives, And so the reason why I bring this up is in this situation when Trump's holding a picture, saying, "Oh, let's get rid of all the Afghans or whatever." Guys, I'm a refugee from Vietnam, and there are many Americans. The whole thing was a terrible situation in Vietnam. The whole thing was a terrible situation in Afghanistan. This, lots of bad things happening all around. But I just want to say this: that there are Americans out there who make promises to people from other countries, right? Who make friendships, who get married to, right? Build lifelong relationships. It's all sorts of situations, and not every American goes back on their word on things. If you make promises to people, hey, we're going to help you, these kind of stuff, right? They intend to do that, and it makes USA just look terrible. The sort of promises that Trump's basically breaking it nonstop, and it's frustrating to see. And it's so essentially just, we're talking about like taking green cards away from people, or if someone's in the process of doing things the right way, you stop all that process, or whatever promises that USA's made. It's like the US's word is no good right now, and it's frustrating and sad to see. And you're destroying relationships we've had over decades. So, for example, this is also today. Trump says South Africa is not invited to next year's G20, right? And my first reaction to this, so first, the USA didn't send a representative to South Africa this year for the G20, so all the other countries were meeting, building relationships, right? Building partnerships. And Trump's like, oh, we're too busy yet. I guess we had enough time to meet with Russia over how we're going to divvy up Ukraine. That's what the USA is up to. My opinion on this stuff is all the other countries should just frankly boycott Trump. That's my opinion, because Trump's having the G20 next year at Miami. He's going to try to profit off this thing, and everyone's going to theoretically go meet in Miami. But why can't other countries just go somewhere else? Just go somewhere else. You don't have to go to Trump. If Trump's going to play that game, I'm not inviting certain countries or whatever. Germany's even say you should invite South Africa. And that's most countries should say that. But this is where we're at, where we're ruining relationships. Like it's just a meltdown every day. You can't do business with someone like Trump. I think you know this. And this also came out today, and that's why I mentioned the blackmail thing. It's crazy. Top EU official accuses U.S. of blackmail in trade talks. Like, how do I even react to this? I'll just tell you what's going on. I mean, basically, I think we're talking about a couple of different things. One is the sort of digital services laws or regulations in the EU. Some of this would be like targeted at Elon Musk's Twitter X. Basically you want to regulate this kind of stuff. You don't necessarily want your kids on Twitter X. You don't want necessarily, Elon spreading a bunch of lies about whatever election, in Europe. Like there's certain things you just, you want to regulate. A very simple example, which I think we really need to come to terms with, is say during election season or any season, I don't want people just using whatever image of whatever person, using whatever voice of whatever person, and just making crap up and putting out deep fake videos out there. It's really, really dangerous. It's really, really dangerous. And we're going to get into a world soon to where it'll be really hard to tell what's real and not real. And if, we sort of allow the Elon Musk worlds to spread, or basically everything's all bots and fake, and it's just going to be bad. I'll just leave it at that. So Europe is going to have more regulations on that stuff than the USA. At the moment, USA wants to be unregulated and just, basically bot counts and fake stuff nonstop, essentially what it boils down to. And I guess Lutnick, that is, he's trying to do the steel and aluminum trade with EU and try to get the basically digital rules changed in Europe. And that's been a sticking point for a while. They've been fighting over this for a while. You could talk about any sort of tax laws and things like that. But that's what it boils down to. Big tech wants no regulations in Elon Musk, et cetera, in the EU. And if you're in the EU right now, you guys can comment on these kind of things. There's any number of issues that you can talk about with this stuff. But in my opinion, keep your laws, keep your regulations, do what you need to do to protect yourself and your children and your people, right? Any number of things. Like let's say for example, let's give you another example. Let's say Elon Musk is like, I don't want any regulations. I want to have, crypto and money laundering all over my platforms, and you have to do it too. Europe's like, you don't have to do anything. Like, do your own thing, guys. You don't necessarily need, and you can't trust anything that the Trump people say either. This is also what's going on. And I also want to just talk about, I think the USA is splintering, but in different ways that you may not necessarily think about. So first, Trump basically buddy with Mondani in the White House. You guys saw that. That was just a few days ago. And so then that pisses off a lot of Trump's basically racist followers. Just be flat out, just be honest with you guys, stuff. And all the people are like, why are you, making, relationship with someone, was different than then you're, white Christian based, basically what it boils down to. And so then Trump has to issue some sort of order against Muslims. You can see this stuff here. And I'm just telling you guys, not everyone in the USA is like Trump or his racist, followers. Not everyone's like that. It's not. And what you're going to see is a splintering in USA, where some cities, say New York City or LA or, bigger cities, Chicago, whatever, they're going to be more welcoming to all kinds of people, right? Not just Americans. It could be from other countries, or if you want to talk to Americans, it could be from all kinds of states. And you'll start to see more sort of to say it, like there'll be more opportunities, more jobs, and just a more wealth of different types of ideas, which is a good environment. And I watched a little bit of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade today, and I was inspired. Why? Because I saw the K-pop Demon Hunter people there, and if you guys watched a little bit of the parade, they were fantastic. EJ and the bunch. If you know this movie and you know these singers, I'm Asian American, and I grew up in a time in USA you barely see Asian Americans on TV, and it was wild to see this whole thing. That was the announcers that they were talking about in KBS News, which is here in Korea today. But the announcers for, the Americans were all wearing the purple to celebrate K-pop Demon Hunters, and they brought out the singers like that. And I was just thinking about how places like New York, and then if you watch all the dancers like that, made up all kinds of people. Seriously, like all kinds of people there. And, if you want to push your society forward, if you want to have your good companies, any sort of, just good organizations, you bring the best and the brightest from wherever they come from, whatever state they come from, whatever religion they, believe in, whatever language they speak, wherever. You get the best people you possibly can. Let the cream of the crop rise, and you'll build the most talented teams that you can find. I don't think that's anything crazy to say. And I give you another example, like this is all happening this year. So like in many ways, I see the USA keeping the borders open and having all kinds of different people. Like, hey, if I'm a baseball team, I want Shohei Ohtani on my team, right? That's who I want on my team. Or say if I'm a political team, I want Zoran Mamdani on my team, right? Like I don't care what your religion or what your beliefs are, what you look like, or your language, whatever. I want the best and brightest on my team. And it's not things crazy to say. If you're a Trumper and you only want like that small portion of the population in your team, I'll be frank with you guys, you're going to lose, and you're a loser. If you only want a very small portion of the population of the whole world on your team, you're a loser, right? If you want to have a fantastic team, if you want to be on the winning team, open up your doors to everyone in the world. You'll do much better. I promise you. If you want to do business, open up your doors to everyone in the world. You're going to do much, much better. But the Trumpers, they basically trick everyone, right? Because I'll give you the basic trick. It's obvious, and we talk about it many times on the channel. Trump and Musk want to replace you with robots and automation. They're doing it every day. They want to take your power. They want to place your robots. And then when you get angry, upset why you don't have a job, they're going to blame, it's all the black and brown people. It's all the immigrants, right? And it's just all a big lie. And that's what we're dealing with every single day. And I'm just telling you, it's not going to be like this forever. And it was interesting. I get inspired, by looking at stuff what Zoran is saying today. He says here, I never want to hear again that the Democratic Party has a problem with young men, meaning that they were talking about. And it's true. There's some people out there that can't find a job. They're having a tough time. Maybe they can't get a girlfriend, any number of reasons. And so they're attracted to Trumps and Elon Musk because they need like a father figure. And, it's we've seen this stuff in history before. If there's young men that they're struggling for whatever reasons, they need like a racist cult to join, basically what it ends up being, right? But there are other ways to move forward in society. And I'll just say this. I'll just tell you flat out. Just give me some dishonest advice. If you want to get a girlfriend, right? If you want to do better in life, don't carry a bunch of anger around with you all the time. It's not very attractive. I hate to break it to you. It's just not an attractive look. If you want to have a girlfriend, right? If you want to be a little bit more happier in your life, don't hang out with a bunch of dudes that just hate women all the time. It's not a very effective strategy. I hate to break it to you. And I know it may seem like, oh, wow, Elon Musk is so rich and he's so successful with women. Dude's got like baby mamas all over the place. And he's got tons and tons of drama in his life. And I can tell you guys, you do not want that kind of life. Man, just like your phone's off the hook all the time. You got all these, millions of kids to take care of, whatever, Musk is, who knows what the count of kids he's got. It's just like always growing. And you got all these baby mama issues. Like, just imagine if you get a fight with one girlfriend. Just imagine it's like a whole bunch and you got kids with all these things. Like, it's something that people don't talk about honestly about. In those groups, you just talk about how much, money or whatever Musk has. But then in Musk's situation, it's all debt. Same with, Trumpers or whatever. And most people don't tell you the truth about this stuff, they don't. They just focus on, oh, well, this is all be racist together. So I'm a little bit mean today, but I look what's going on in USA, and some cities say like in New York, and was like, man, that's the best parts of USA. If you don't know, I used to live in New York. New York's cool. It's really cool. All kinds of people live there. All kinds of foods are there. All kinds of music is there. All kinds of cultures there. All kinds of churches are there. All kinds of stuff is there. All kinds of entertainment venues, etc. It's fantastic, And the people who hate on New York are basically people who've never been there, and they live in these basically. I'll try to play it in a nice way, but you live in a town that not a lot to do, and all you do is drive around, listen to your AM radio, and they spout that racist stuff. And I guess if you want to live in that world angry all the time and be upset that you don't have a girlfriend, that's fine. Maybe Elon will sell you an AI girlfriend, and I'm gonna be a little bit mean, but I'm just telling you guys. There's other ways to be successful in this world other than the Elon method, and I'm telling you, I'm just being just bro to bro, giving you honest advice. You don't want to have a whole bunch of baby mamas in your life. It's not a great solution to things. It's kind of funny because if you guys sit down and think about it that way, you're just like, dang, man, I guess I don't want a bunch of baby mamas. I mean, I'm telling you the truth, guys. Just be careful on who you follow. So. That's all I have to say about that. I'd like to hear your thoughts, and catch you on the next video.